What's up, y'all? Have you ever noticed that smart technology is having a negative effect on us low key? Like, if you really pay attention, it's not hard to see that the human race as a collective is becoming more dumbed down by the day. Now, it's called smart technology for a reason because the technology is getting smarter than you. You're becoming dumber than the technology that you use. For example, right? Most people, let's keep it a buck. Let's be very transparent. Let's be 100%. Most people can't read a map. Let's just be honest. I'm in the mall. I see people struggling to read the map mall. I'm going hiking. I see people struggling to see where they are in one point on the map. And it's because people are so used to using GPS. They're so used to using automatic navigation that walks them through things step by step. So most people don't have great navigational skills in this era. So if your phone dies and you got to get back home, a lot of people are in a predicament because they don't even know how to use the highway signs as a means to get from one point to another point. And it's all because of their reliance on this smart technology. You have to see the finesse. They're finessing you out of your own cognitive function. So you have to be aware of the fact that if you rely too much on this smart technology, you are effectively handicapping your own cognitive abilities. So when it comes to things like, every time you need the answer to something, you go to Google. Google has a vast array of information, but Google knows you go to them every single day for information. So that allows them to censor and hide certain information they don't want you to see on their search engine. You guys can test this out. There's some things you just can't find on Google, but you can find on other search engines. And it's simply because of the fact that Google is going to, advertently place its biases in its own search engine. So, for example, if Google has a political agenda, they're going to go out of their way to hide what they don't want you to see that would affect you going against their political agenda. It's just common sense. And when these companies get big like this is how they start to get political power because they omit information from the public. That's why it's a battle of information. Now, when it comes to just us losing our superpowers, us losing our function, when you search things on Google, you're assuming Google has all the answers. So you don't even read books anymore because you don't think there's much to gain from you reading a book when you can just search it and find an answer in a few seconds. But what you're forgetting is there's a lot of information in books that you simply cannot find on Google, or Google doesn't really quite go into detail as much. You can find a lot more specific and condensed material through books. This is why reading books is invaluable. If reading books wasn't important, millionaires wouldn't have a bookshelf stacked with like 50 books. It's very important, and just in terms of establishing, a knowledgeable base of information aside from just using your phone all the time. And what I'm noticing is people are becoming very compliant because it's almost like your technology is ordering you around. Like you're about to get onto the highway. You have to merge. You have to merge onto the highway, yet you're listening to Siri or you're listening to Google Maps tell you to merge. Like, bro, you have to merge. But it's that low-key subconscious signaling to your brain of follow these orders. It makes you more compliant, and therefore you becoming more of an ideal candidate to become controlled by the matrix, because it's all about making you obedient and compliant. If you're in charge of a society and you're in charge of these big corporations, you want very compliant customers and consumers who are going to do everything you say. So I'm noticing with this smart technology, it is making people very compliant and robotic themselves. So it's kind of funny how humans and technology are starting to trade places. And I just wanted to give you guys some food for thought and just realize if you're becoming over reliant on this technology. You don't want to become over reliant on this technology. It gets stripped from you, and then you're just a sack of shit. You have really no abilities anymore because you are so used to getting everything at the touch of a button. That's the danger with this technology. Another danger that I'm noticing is, you know, they're creating these virtual realities and all this other type of mess, but it's taking you away from the real reality you live in. What happens when people, you know, this is going to become another addiction when they have this virtual reality stuff, which they already had out, but when it becomes more mainstream, people are going to want to be in this virtual reality more than their own reality. Like, that's sad. That's not okay. That's just not okay. You know, you can have fun with anything, but you shouldn't want to be in a fake world more than the world you truly exist in. You know what I'm saying? It's mind-boggling how people are allowing themselves to be finessed through the illusion of convenience. Dude, let me ask you something. Would you rather have convenience, or would you rather have tangible skills that are constantly improving? You know, most people want to settle for convenience because they just don't want to make themselves better. So they're counting on you to not want to improve yourself or your circumstances and become more dumbed down and compliant the more technology they roll out. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I'm not saying you guys can't use these devices. What I am saying, though, is it makes sense for us to learn, you know, how to facilitate and how to use our own skills, and then we can add that on top of the technology we use. There's no reason why we shouldn't read books and use Google. You see what I'm saying? But an over-reliance on one or the other is not necessarily what you want. So it's your boy Dipsy. I'm going to catch y'all later, man. Peace out.